And welcome back. This is your man Warrior. This is another patron roster review. This is Slevin. Slevin is with the Domino Squadron. So what's up, Domino Squadron? What? So he asked a couple of questions. He wanted to know about his arena team, how to make it better. He wanted to know if he was kind of pursuing Jedi Knight Anakin, if that was a good move. And he doesn't do Zetas yet. He can't farm them quite yet, but he wanted to know the direction of possibly going with his Zeta. And so let's start with the easiest one first, which is the Zeta direction. Kind of the default Zeta for everybody is going to be Darth Vader, and the reason for that is it's going to help you do better in the Rancor raid. And with the Rancor raid, most every guild now does that. It's going to help you be able to place in your top 5 or top 10. And by the way, I know a lot of people say, well, everyone's soloing it now with the Vader. That's not true. Not on every team. Only in the top teams do they do that. In your team, I'm sure you don't have 40 or 50 solos. But even so, if you had 5 or 10 solos, it would still put you in the top 5 or top 10, which gives you great rewards for your characters. You need those good rewards for your characters to level and gear them up. But the team that you have, as far as what you have and you like what Zeta direction to go, I would say hold off. You can't get them anyway right now, so you're kind of getting the cart before the horse. And by the time you can farm for Zetas, there's probably going to be another character that is so overpowered you're going to want to do it. Maybe something coming out in the near future, who knows. So let's not worry about Zeta for now, but in the tentative, just say you're gonna do Zeta Vader, so that way you have better rewards for yourself for your existing characters. And the second, you said Jedi Knight Anakin, should you go and farm him and work on him? And the answer is absolutely yes. And this is why. Jedi Knight Anakin is a phenomenal character in any team. He does not have to be just with the Jedi. He's going to be able to apply buff immunity down on his basic. That is a key debuff in this game. It is a very, very important debuff, especially in the current meta. He does a very powerful AoE damage attack, and he's kind of like a Royal Guard, but in the offensive side. When someone gets hurt, he ends up being able to get extra turns and do extra damage during those turns to kind of protect his other fellow players, so his other fellow characters. So he's an excellent character. I would definitely put him on your top list of farming. But let's go back really quick to your arena team. So as far as your arena, you're in the top 50, and as far as fleet, you're doing even better. You're in the top 20, and your fleet arena looks phenomenal, by the way. You're building an excellent team. You got a great balance of tanks, attackers, target lock characters, so everything in your fleet arena looks like you're right on point. So excellent job, well done there. As far as your squad arena, I do want to give a shout out to another patron who actually is getting a roster review this week as well, and that is Trindle. Trindle has this exact same team, and he is in the top 5, gets number 1, and it is an awesome team. And so what it says is a couple of things. Depends on who you're going against in your own leaderboard, and 2, it depends on how high your gear is and how your mods are. So the lesson here is you actually have a good arena team. I'm not going to tell you to change it at all. I really like the build and how you have it structured. What I would say is that you definitely need to continue to gear these characters up and put better and better mods on, keeping in mind you need to keep a constant surplus of credits, around 5 to 10 million credits if you can, so that way when mods drop in the mod store that are worthy, you can buy them and upgrade them immediately to throw on your arena team. They're your number 1 priority for mods. Now let's go ahead and go into other individual characters that I feel like you really should focus on. These are going to be kind of your top 8 characters that I think will take your game to the next level. Number 1 is Rex. Now I know you guys have heard it time and time again. I say Rex, 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 and the reason for that is literally he was hardly on the meta report. He was in the bottom 5 leaders, and Maul came out, and Maul just took over the meta. He's over half of all teams are now using Maul in the top 100, and instantly within 3 to 4 weeks, now Rex is like 40% of all teams. He's a direct counter to that meta, but this is not the first time Rex has risen as a counter to the meta. He has literally done this multiple other times in the past. Rex is very viable, a phenomenal leader, and he's great to have in your toolbox of characters. So Rex is number 1. Number 2 is Jedi Knight Anakin. You asked, am I on the right track? And my answer unequivocally is yes. He is tanky. He is powerful. You can make him fast. He does a lot of damage, and he's got buff immunity on basic. This is an excellent character for any team, I would highly recommend that you get him max geared out and leveled up. Number 3, 4, and 5 actually come out of your Sith inventory. You need to continue to develop Emperor Palpatine. He is at gear 9. Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader are two of the easiest characters to gear on the dark side for how powerful they are. Let me repeat, these two characters are the easiest to gear for how powerful they are on the dark side. For what you get out of what you're putting in, it is way more that you're getting out than what you're putting in. These are excellent characters. Get them to gear 10. You should be able to bust that out relatively quickly. Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader, those two characters have much utility, and Emperor Palpatine is an easy fill-in to help guide you up into the top 20 from the top 50. So that is a character you want to focus on. But at gear 9, he's probably not strong enough to compete in the top 50 right now. So Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, and then of course the last one in this list, Darth Nihilus. You have got to do this character. He and Emperor Palpatine are the two single-handed best Sith in the game, hands down, no question asked, even better than Darth Maul. And this is why at some point there will be some character or some ability or some change or some work in the system where eventually Maul will become irrelevant. There'll be a character that will prevent evasion or something, and Maul will fall off the charts. He will have his moment of glory and he'll be gone. Darth Nihilus will be around for a very, very, very long time. Darth Nihilus's ability and his basic to do a lot of damage and dispel, which also allows for his Drain Force to be used more often. His Drain Force increasing opponents' cooldowns, kind of like an ability block, and reducing Annihilate, and then ultimately the Annihilate ability to just single-handedly pick anybody on the other side and guaranteed unequivocally take them out. This is an overpowered character by definition, and you need to get Darth Nihilus up. He is a key in any top 10 arena team now, but even in the future. Number 7 comes out of the way of Sun Fac, still one of the top 3 best tanks in the game, and when the Maul meta calms down and passes on, Sun Fac will rise again to be one of the best tanks in the game. I know a lot of people with the daze say, well, he doesn't counter anymore, so he's not nearly as good. And that's true of any character once they're dazed, which is why Maul is so dangerous right now in the current meta. But again, the meta will change, and when Darth Maul falls from his place, there will be a home again on your team for Sun Fac with his countering, his dispelling on basic, just like Darth Nihilus. How tanky he is. He's got the most protection in the game of any character. He's got ability to take away turn meter on one of his specials and put offense down, critical chance down. He is an amazing tank. Definitely worth finishing up that investment. And number 8 comes by way of Cassian in the Rebels. Now, you have the other Rebels. You have Chirrut, K2SO, Jyn, Erso, Baze, and Baze and Chirrut are, of course, the most important. But if you want to run a Rogue One team, which could get you into the top 10 pretty easily, even with the Sith meta, you definitely need all 5 pieces of that puzzle. That would mean you'd need to finish Jyn Erso, and you're going to need to get Cassian and level and gear him up, which you do not have him yet. Okay? Now, you could run, for Path of Least Resistance, you could run your Biggs, Wedge, Baze, and Chirrut and put Jyn in the lead. That would make for a very powerful Rebel squad, but you are still going to have to get Jyn Erso up significantly for her to run as a leader. So you want to make sure that you continue to farm her stars and to continue to gear her up. And my suggestion would be your number 8 character be Cassian, whom you do not have. So those are the 8 that I would recommend. Your arena team looks great. I honestly wouldn't change anything right now about your arena team. team. Just continue to gear them higher, farm them up, and eventually you could toss Jyn or so in as leader and pull Boba Fett out. But for right now, just get your team faster and higher geared, and you're going to do just fine. I think everything looks great. Leave your comments down below if you think that Slevin should do something different with his roster. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.